In this video, Big Profit Betting Strategy Made Simple, we're going to show you how to use a software as an enabler to make you profit from betting. The software that we've chosen for this is Rebel Betting. And what it's basically going to do is going to put the odds in your favour. I'm going to advise you on things like the best settings, the bet types that you should be making, the staking plan, choosing your bookmakers to get maximum value, and I'm also going to show you my results over the last couple of weeks of testing this system. And best of all, Rebel Betting offer 2 weeks for free, so you can go along, use it and abuse it, test it however you wish to, and make money. So here you've got the Rebel Betting homepage. We're going to just go through this pretty quickly. This is where you would fill in your email address if you wanted to start a 14-day free trial. It's good for learning, and yeah, of course, obviously you can make money during that time as well. Just a question of how quick you learn it, if you've got the accounts ready. This is what they do: value betting and sure betting. We're going to concentrate on the value betting today. Sure betting is more for sort of arbitrage players, which you can do if you want no risk. It tells you a bit about the profit guarantee. Then as you go down, it's telling you they're processing around 1 million bets per minute. As you can imagine, you know, all those odds in different games, that's what they need to do. So they've got a lot of data mining there, they're using a lot of APIs, etc. They've been online for 12 years. It's a reliable company. And as we scroll right down to the bottom, we come to the most important part: bookmakers, because these are the ones that you're going to attack. So you get a list of bookmakers. You can see yourself as we sort of scroll up and down them. I mean, the ratings, they're from SBR, but so ignore that. But these are the bookmakers on the left hand side. You've got all the big ones in there, you know, obviously the Bet365s, etc. I think it's 11 or 12 bookmakers for the USA, like Best Rivers there. You've even got Nigerian bookmakers, Swedish, UK. You've got for Europe. You know, it really doesn't matter where you live. There's something for everybody here, as you can see. And yeah, these are the bookmakers that you've got to work with. So what we should go and do now is log in. And so I'm going to log in with actually value betting. And as it loads, the first thing that you see on the left hand side are the actual bets. But because we've done nothing at this stage, you know, in terms of setting up, we need to go and do that first. So the best thing is to go to options. Now, I've just filled this in as like, you know, the current bankroll. You can put in whatever you wish to. For me personally, it's not important unless you're sort of running like the Kelly criterion system, which I wouldn't recommend in particular. I'm more for sort of flat stakes or raising your stakes on, you know, serious markets and higher volumes, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So as you can see, you know, I've just put in there that it's 50 euros per bet, right? So that's what you're going to see in the system that we're going through. The bets to show on the front page are 20. That's the maximum that they can show at any one time, and we're sorting them by the highest value. Other than that, there's just what else have we got there? We've got at the top, we've got the filter if we want to change anything. These are the 10 bookmakers that I've actually put in and that I sort of tracked for this process. I put in a minimum of 4% and a maximum of 25%. That's the expected value line. Now, the thing is, right, I put in the minimum because I'm thinking to myself, okay, some of you guys are relatively inexperienced, so you know you're probably going to want at least like 4%. And the reason you put in a maximum is because if they make a mistake, right, you know, like a typing mistake, you're not going to get paid in any case. So 25%, I wouldn't want to particularly go over that. If you saw something at 500%, then they're going to just cancel the bet anyway. So just think of that. I've done 36 hours until match time, so that's anything up to 36 hours. You can set that however you wish to. And the odds that I actually put in are 1.60 to 3.30. So that means the value bets that I'm going to see are anything between those two odds, right? Now, the thing is, if you want to add bookmakers or take away bookmakers, take away is obviously just hit the cross. And to add, you just go on the left hand side here and click add. And then you click, add it in, and away you go, yeah? Right, so that's spoken through. I don't think we've got anything more to speak about there. As you click on the bookmaker itself, this is an important part. As you probably know, bookmakers all have different domains, so it depends obviously which country that you're in. So it might be a .co.uk, it might be a .com. Wherever you are, it's going to be slightly different. As you can see with 10bet, for example, they've got 6 domains, and you would choose the one which whenever you was sort of playing on for this tracking process. Yeah, I could change the bookmaker at the top, go to Bet365, and again you would see all the different domains from Bet365, and then you want to just pick the one that you're working with. I put in euro, the rounding, unimportant, ignore it, right? And if you was in a country where there was taxation on each bet, then you would add it here, but I'm assuming that there's no taxation. Again, you've got the add in a bookmaker here, which you can do going back to square one, yeah? Right, then the next thing is the user. As you can see, there's my subscription. The account runs until the 27th of August. Just basically, the time zone that you're in. If you want it in decimal format, which is the most logical to read, then that's what comes as standard. But you can change if you wish to fractional, if you're like about 150 years old, or money line, if you're American and don't understand that decimal's more logical. But there you go. They want gallons, we want litres. And then the select default. Again, no need for it whatsoever. So just ignore that and move on. One thing I wanted to actually mention is that going back to the filter, if you actually add, if we click this is their recommended filter. So they say the 2% to 20%, right? Whereas, I said 4 to 25. They said odds minimum 140 to 2.9, whereas I said 1.60 to 3.3. This is where we have a slight difference of opinion. And the match time, I put in 36 because I don't think, it's basically like this. If you're spreading money between different accounts and you're betting a portion of your bank, right, you've got to think about how many bets you're going to be placing, and how it would run out if you're betting 300 hours in advance. You need massive funds in each account. So I would definitely recommend that you sort of limit that to maybe 3 days. But that's just going back on something. Right, so let's actually get back into the bets. This is as you can see, the Value Betting Pro, and this is the expected value on each one of these bets, right? The name of the bookmaker, how long it is until that a match starts, and you click it, and it opens. Now, when it says bet, don't click that because it's going to take you across to your bookmaker or to to a website, right? Be logged into the website yourself. Don't rely on this. Go to log the bet. If you place a bet, log it. Just check that the odds are the same as up here. And then if you wish to change the stake, for example, you can do it here. If you wanted a little bit more on that, because it's a higher expected value. That's England U23 Premier League Cup soccer. Normally, I would say we don't take that for one reason. and the reason being that it's a very low liquidity league. And if you start betting on low liquidity leagues, right, you're going to get clocked a little bit faster by the bookmaker, and you will get limitations. Now we're going to be talking through that in the next video about how to sort of avoid these being limited and getting accounts closed, and I'm going to give you some suggestions, so we're going to cover that at a later date, yeah? But you really got to think about how many bets you're making, because that's going to affect your stake size and whether you've got the money in the account, etc., and so on. So let's just pretend that we're going to place that bet and hit the log. And that's it, it's logged. You know, we've been in the bookmaker, we've actually placed the bet, and now we log it. And I'm going to come on to that in a minute. These are the other bets possible. As you see, I've got a company there called SportsBOOK. It's an agent, so I wouldn't have no problem placing that, because the basis is that you can place without limitations through an agent. So I would do that. Again, this is NBA, basketball is a big sport, so if you get across to Ladbrokes, you can get those odds, then you can log it, and so on. All right, so you can work through your bookmakers, your bets there, and when they're gone, then just wait a few minutes, the next ones will appear, decide which ones you want, which ones you don't want, etc., etc. And then we're going to go now into the tracker, as you see down here. Or should I go into the menu and take the tracker, because unfortunately my computer's getting on my nerves, but there you go. We'll hit the bet tracker. This shows you the bets that we've actually placed. You can see in this testing process I've done 673 bets. So I've got 910 open, 910 euros open, 15 bets pending, should I say. So the rest have all been settled. Now, as you can see, this is when they were placed. This is when the match is going to start. Then you've got the event, the expected value, which is obviously important, the actual bet itself, the bookmaker, the stake, the odds, and whether, you know, when it's been settled. So this is like almost like a results service, yeah? What I would say is that 673 bets is a good sample size. If you did this over 10 or 20 bets, then you know, it doesn't mean you're going to be in positive, it doesn't mean you're going to be winning, but you know, the more you do, the more it should sort of balance out over a period of time. It's like throwing a coin. If you threw a coin, if you had odds of 2.10 on a coin and you flipped it 10 times, right, it could still land the opposite way 6 times. So, you know, you could have lost money, right? So just think about it logically. The more bets that you do, the more sort of nearer to the real expected value line you're going to be, right? So we're going to go back down here to the menu, and we can go into what they call reports. Now, what this shows you is these are the bets that I actually placed. I think I covered them on like 4 or 5 days, and you know, I just use them just to sort of give you a good idea of what's possible, what's not. And this shows you the actual where you should be at, you know, from the bets that you've actually placed. It's called the closing line value, and that I should have been 2,145 in advance, but my actual profit is this green line here, 3,497. So I'm actually outperforming the expected closing line. Now, you know, at some stage you'd expect that to sort of balance out. Some people would start down here under the expected value line, but you know, over 10,000 bets, you'd expect it to sort of be running within the close proximity of the blue line. This shows you the bookmakers that I actually bet with, Bet365, 5 Dimes, Unibet, etc. How many bets I made, the actual yield with each one. So you see there's some negative ones. These are accounts that would have to be funded again, and so on. And it shows you here the different yield for different sports. Now, I would actually expect that US sport would be potentially better, because US sport, they make a lot of mistakes. There's not so much copying, you know, they tend to get the lines all having difference of opinion, and so you can make it there. Now esports, I clicked it just for a little test, but esports is not my thing. But if it's yours, I don't know what the limits are on esports, to be quite honest with you, but I would say to you that this is a nice bit of gear. It tells you it gives you information about your sort of individual bets, but again, over 670 bets is less relevant than it would be if I placed 10,000 bets and I saw a minus, and I would start questioning it. So there you go, there you've got it. Yeah. So my advice and my conclusion from this is, if you're going to if you want to make money and you want to make it quickly, this system, it will get you well ahead. It's really smart. It's costs next to nothing. Yeah, it's performance is proven. It's easy to use. It's easy to understand. It's excellent value software. I would recommend that you look particularly at US sports, because you can do them in the evenings. Obviously, that's when the markets start getting a little bit more active. Make sure, for God's sake, that you've got all your betting accounts open, right? So you'd have different tabs for each different account, and then you would try to stay logged in all the time. So when you went to place a bet, you won't be fumbling around trying to log in. So the accounts need to be open, and they also need to be funded. So make sure you've got money in the account. And also think about the software as like going to the buffet. If you're going to go to a buffet and you're not hungry, then obviously you're not going to eat very much, and it's not going to be very good value. But if you're going to go very hungry, right, then you can be working on this all the time. You can do your weekends, you can do your evenings, you can put in your hours, and your profit margins, you will soon see a massive growth in your bank account. That is one thing for certain. If you get the odds in your favor, you cannot lose. This is the most important thing to think long term. So there you have it for now. That's the actual software. So let's move on. So thanks for staying till the end of this video. Hopefully you have learned how to use the Rebel betting system. Don't forget, in the description below, you can get 2 weeks for free. All you've got to do is click the link, go up, sign up, get on board, and start generating an income today. We'll speak soon in the next one. You're through to boot camp again. Take care for now. Bye bye.